and welcome to another episode of A Closer Look. In this episode, we take a look at coffee as an important agricultural commodity in Papua New Guinea, the impacts of scientific research on our economy, and we take a closer look into the journey of an all-female rugby club in Port Moresby. But first, we take a closer look into the highlights of notable challenges impacting the performance of the coffee industry and one man's ambitious aim to bring coffee to the specialty market.
You drop in your favorite coffee bean, press a button on the coffee machine, and your coffee is ready to be savored within seconds. Freshly brewed coffee at the touch of your fingertips is definitely a form of convenience in today's busy and hectic world. As you sit and sip on your favorite brew, your mind wanders to what might be the origin of this delicious cup of coffee, to the beginnings of the aromatic coffee bean. The journey of the mighty coffee bean begins when it grows to become a cherry on the coffee plant. Papua New Guinea produces one of the best coffees in the world, yet the majority of its citizens hardly taste locally grown coffee. Drinking espresso brewed from freshly roasted, grinded beans is a new thing for many Papua New Guineans. According to a research paper written in 2021 by Ronald Sofer, Research Fellow, Economic Policy Research Program at the PNG National Research Institute, this is changing as people live, work and travel around the world and experience a way of life that inextricably connected with coffee. Within the precinct of Port Moresby, for example, one would now find cafes serving espresso latte, mocha, or cappuccino brewed from locally produced beans. One such cafe bringing a real coffee experience to Papua New Guineans is JS Coffee Cafe, located at the Skyview Estates, a few minutes drive away from the Jackson's International Airport and located in Port Moresby. The proprietor of this coffee shop is the former Agriculture Minister and member for Marprick, John Simon. And since being ousted in the national general election in 2022, the former politician is doing his best to support our local coffee farmers.
To me, I'm so passionate about the sector. It's not anything, it's just I'm so passionate. It's like, when you talk about agriculture, you sort of touch bases with your relatives and families and boo-boos and everybody at home and the whole tribe. Because what else are they doing? They're doing nothing but on the land. So when you talk about it, it's sort of that's what you get on. And that's why it sort of drives that thing in me.
Coffee is traded globally and therefore its price is subject to instability in the international market. There is often fluctuation of global price of coffee where instances of high and unexpected swings are expected, often attributed to weather woes that may reduce supplies in major coffee producing countries like Brazil and Vietnam. Consequently, this has adverse impact on coffee production in PNG. Coffee income remains highly vulnerable to volatile market price, which subsequently constrains the ability of growers to earn a stable form of income. Better prices from sale of parchment or green beans can be considered an incentive for coffee farmers to remain committed in coffee husbandry and post-harvest undertakings. This has led to the decline in recent years. Production has fluctuated between 600,000 bags and 1.2 million bags in the past 10 years. And when the price is unfavorable, small coffee plot owners are more inclined to switch their time and resource to horticulture or alternate activities that show promise of higher return.
This is the sector that Papua New Guinea relied on pre-independence. Not cocoa, not vanilla, it was coffee. And if we don't do it properly now, we're going to lose this sector. No one's interested. Up in the highlands you go now, they're cutting down all the coffee gardens and planting cabbage, carrot, capsicum, because one cabbage they can go and get 5 kina. Within 3 months he gets 5 kina from one cabbage. It's better off than waiting for 3 years for a coffee to be harvested. You spend all the time trying to grow it and you get 2 kina or 3 kina for 1 kilo. And a lot of job to get 3 kina for 1 kilo than to plant a cabbage and 1 round cabbage, you get 3 kina, or you get 5 kina, I might as well go into that. So they've cut down all the coffee trees and everything. And I don't blame them for that.
The former two-term politician John Simon is no stranger to coffee, having grown up on a coffee plantation in the Highlands and later returning to East Sepik and working with his parents on their small coffee plot. Having the experience, he resonates with the plight of coffee growers. He is supporting the coffee industry in Maprik and Wewak Town by purchasing coffee at a price of 5 kina per kilo, despite the cost incurred on his business and the current market price.
So if you're going to pay 2 kina, 3 kina, 4 kina, forget it. What money are they going to make? We're not slaves in this country. So you might as well 5, 6 kina, 7 kina and above. Then it's worth doing coffee. We are trying to preach from the tree to cup. That's a supply chain. Right. Then the value chain, the money, must be from the cup to the tree. But it's not. I sat around, I thought about it, I said, all right, I'll take that risk. Parliament paid me some 10 years of being as a member. I used all that money to buy coffee. And I paid 5 kina on it. After I paid 5 kina, I came to realize that, I have to ship the coffee container to Leh because of the export and all this and coordination. My FOB landed in Leh was about 7 kina, 80. And the price that they gave me for Robusta was $2.10, $2.10. That's only about 7 kina, or 7.10, 7.20. So I was making about 60 to 80 toya, 50 to 60 toya loss per kilo.
Despite these challenges, the personal touch and organic nature of PNG coffee through smallholder production has its own uniqueness and value for niche markets. The coffee industry contributes about 6% to the national GDP, which is estimated at 856 million kina per annum. On average, the coffee industry contributes between 400 million kina and 500 million kina per year to the economy derived from export revenue. This shows that there is great potential to tap into global demand for organic coffee to access premium price. However, pragmatic and innovative solutions are also needed to address the challenges in order to revamp the industry and improve production of quality coffee.
So I decided to set a cafe. Now my whole reason is to take our coffee to the specialty market. And I retail the coffee. Cup price. Then I can take the cup price directly to my farmers now. I can no longer do the market. Because if I go to the market, I can't. Because as I said already, the market's preoccupied by big boys. We're little boys. We can't do much. You take the price that is on the plate.
In August of last year, Prime Minister James Marape urged coffee growers, investors and stakeholders to support his government in revamping the once thriving coffee industry. The Prime Minister said this was totally necessary to give new direction and focus on re-establishing the cash crop. He said, and I quote, "This time around and under my government, the country has no choice but to directly deal with the industry under a newly created ministry to oversee its expansion from production through manufacturing and export." End quote. Marape said coffee was grown in 17 of the country's 22 provinces, with 524,000 households engaged in cultivation and trade to sustain their livelihoods, according to the 2011 National Population Census. Prime Minister Marape went on to add that 92% of total coffee production was from the highlands, with the balance from the other 3 regions of the country. Marape said coffee was grown in 17 of the country's 22 provinces. Currently, there are about 250 blockholders in farm sizes ranging from 5 to 30 hectares, 65 plantations, 25 registered exporters, 12 roasters and manufacturers, 58 licensed dry factories, 33 wet factories, and an estimated 6,000 unregistered seasonal roadside, with about 60,000 small to medium enterprises in the coffee subsector. And he concluded that the coffee industry was too valuable to remain untended due to its economic value and importance for the long-term benefit of Papua New Guinea and its people. While the Marape Rosso government has talked about downstream processing, the need for innovative ideas is evident to ensure the country maximizes from the benefit of coffee.
But if we get into the specialty market, that's when Papua New Guineans will benefit. So my advice, my thought is this, for the Minister for Agriculture and the Minister for Commerce, talking about SME, we need to now establish SME, coffee SME, overseas, in where the bigger markets are. So we take our coffee from the tree directly to our SMEs. The consumers in the world are big. Why we are not at why we don't have a PNG cafe in Australia? We probably have it, but these are Australians. But why don't the government set up one? Why don't the government support one to establish in? I'm trying to do it in Manila now. I've got 600 kilos of coffee. I'm sending it to Manila. I'm trying to establish JS Cafe in Manila. Take our coffee there. There's 20 million people lives in Manila.
The future of the coffee industry lies in investment and business for sustainable economic growth demands. Innovation in linking smallholder coffees to market with differentiated products, which should be in tandem with the resurrection of the block and plantation sectors through sound policies that support reduced cost of production. So the next time you sit down to enjoy your favorite morning brew, choose local coffee shops over large chains. You'll be supporting small business and improving the likelihood that the shop owner has a direct relationship to the small local plot holders that grow your favorite bean. And spare a thought for the mighty coffee bean and the story of coffee.
After the break, we take a look at scientific research as a means of earning a revenue for the country.